So I watched live Karoline Leavitt's. It's Karoline Leavitt's first press conference for President Trump. I have watched, I don't know how many press conferences in my lifetime, and I've seen these press secretaries come and go. And I'm here to tell you that Karoline Leavitt's press conference was the best first press conference I think any press secretary has ever done. It went perfect. She did a great job. She's confident. She talks confident too. She doesn't take any crap from these reporters who think they're better than everyone else. I mean, go look at Jim Acosta's sign off on CNN. Oh, we are here to the fourth estate to uphold, bull crap. They're very full of themselves. She did good. No notes. McEnany did very good, but she had like a whole filing system with notes. Remember? She had nothing. No word salads, no notes, no bullshit. Right? I mean, that's just it. She was very, very good. And she's only 27 years old. And it could have gone the other way. These people, if you notice with this press conference, not only did she do total perfection. I'm sure President Trump high-fived her after the press conference. They were trying to get her. It's like these reporters sit around that little press briefing and decide what they're going to try to catch the press secretary on. And they were trying to get her to say that Trump's going to cut Medicaid. For some reason, they decided that they were going to get her to say that. They couldn't get what they wanted. They brought up the price of eggs, which she knew that was coming, so she had a perfect answer for that. She did great. She did so good. And, Fox News really screwed up with this, okay? Because I'm watching, I watched the press conference on Fox News Channel. And the reason I watched it on Fox News Channel is because I just assumed when the press conference was over, we were going to have a discussion with McEnany and Dana Perino, because they were both press secretaries, and McEnany for Trump, and Karoline Leavitt was an assistant to McEnany at the White House. And I thought we'd get some professional analysis from these two press secretaries, and they go to John Roberts. I mean, it was just, they talk about, but I think Karoline Leavitt did a perfect job. In fact, I cannot think of one thing to criticize. Can you? Welcome, everyone. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, please like the video. But Trump always hires the best, right? He hires the best. So, when you hire the best, you get a good job. Yeah, it was total perfection. And I liked how she kept control of it. The guy, who's that jerk from NBC? He was the one that interrupted President Trump the other day and President Trump said, "Don't interrupt." And he was trying to hijack the press conference. He was trying, why don't we go through the whole list right here with the press corps? Why don't you just go screw yourself, okay? You're not going to grandstand here, NBC News. She handled him, boom. Yeah, she definitely made Trump proud and MAGA proud. And at the end, they were asking her about doing the press conferences, and there's no more scheduled press conferences. She'll do them when warranted. She said the best spokesperson for the president is the president himself, and I think she's cool with that. I don't think there's any kind of ego thing connected with it. I think she is very cool with that. We don't give, we don't give two Fs about legacy media anymore. That is so true. That's so true. No doubt about it. No, they're irrelevant. They shouldn't even be in the front row. I saw Brian Glenn got to ask a question. It's nice. I was curious how they were going to do it, and they did very good. There's a lot, they let people in that have not been in there for 4 years, and there's a lot of people in the back that never get called on. They call on the same 3 or 4 people in the front row. It's a joke. The other people in all these outlets that never get called on by the Democrats in the back, it must be really depressing for them. They must be like, why am I even here? I could just watch this at home on TV and make notes. So I'm not going to get called on, you know. And it's true. The guy from Breitbart, when he asked, same old tired questions, exactly, CR. When the guy from Breitbart asked this question, he's like, we represent millions of people, exactly, you know. And they, people like me, you know, you guys watch, you're representing a lot of people, more so than NBC News or even Fox. I think she handled them well, and they were ready to come at her because it was a packed house. They even had that witch from CNN there, Caitlin Collins. Yeah, she was there. So they had all the heavy hitters there, ready to try to tear her down, and they couldn't do it. And the reason they couldn't do it is, I mean, Karoline Leavitt is so well informed, isn't she? She is so well informed about everything that's going on. And it was interesting. She did, you know, President Trump, promises made, promises kept. President Trump, through her, told us what the drones were about. And let me tell you this about the drones, because this is a big thing. So the drones were a big nothing burger, right? They were authorized by the FAA, do some test or something. And this crappy Biden regime let people be terrified about the drones to distract from their problems. I mean, people in this country were really terrified about the drones. And Biden, White House knew all about it. They knew it was nothing, but they allowed people to be scared to distract from whatever scandal they had going on at the White House. Pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I don't know, it could be, who knows? Let's just enjoy now, not worry about 28. Yeah. We could sit around here and throw running mates for JD all day, and you know, it's meaningless, too far away. But Karoline Leavitt did a great, great job. I was so happy. You know, I was really worried because the first press conference last time was Sean Spicer, and Sean Spicer went out at his first press conference and embarrassed himself. I mean, he'll never live that down. And she went out there like a pro. That's right. You know, she's only 27. So she was working for McEnany when she was like 22. You know, and look how she did. Yeah, she just had a baby. Yeah, they're disgusting. The legacy media are disgusting. And I'm sure that Joy Reid and these MSNBCers will attack. Joy Reid hates her anyway because she's white, right? She doesn't like white people. So she's going to go after her just based on that. Youngest press secretary ever. That's right. That's right. That's why it could have gone south, because, you know, when you're young, a lot of times you don't know as much. You don't have as much life experience. And, you know, things can go south pretty quick when you're young. But she is very, very impressive, isn't she? She is very, I think she's incredibly impressive. That was such a perfect press conference. She's quick-witted, yeah. Very quick. Very, very quick. And she knows everything that the president has done, right? She knew every detail about all the orders. She had everything down. Much better than Jean-Pierre. Remember when Jean-Pierre said everything she does is historic? What an arrogant person. You know. President Trump's best pick? Well, he's got a lot of good picks, so it's hard to say the best. Because there's, I mean, you know, Pete Hegseth. I mean, did you see Christy Nome today with ICE, leading ICE as the Homeland Secretary, arresting bad guys? Yes, we've been saved by Trump. DEI hire. Didn't earn it. Well, DEI is gone. That's not a thing anymore. Yeah. No, I bet you she was not even nervous. You would think she'd be nervous. Did she seem nervous to you? Didn't seem nervous to me. She did not seem nervous at all to me. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe, all right, because I'm live streaming all the time, and in the morning, I'm sure in the morning I'll play some clips from the press conference. Plus, there's a lot of other things that have happened today. And by the way, who has what would you say? Out of all the cabinet, I mean, I'm gonna see if you disagree with me on this, because we got some more hearings coming up for confirmation starting tomorrow, this week. I think Kash Patel is going to be the most difficult one. What do you think? And that's even the ones who are confirmed. They are, I'm sorry guys, been up a long time. They are terrified of Kash Patel. I mean, he said he wants to close down the Washington Bureau of the FBI and turn the building into a museum. Fresh air when you have someone prepared. It wasn't just prepared. She just knows. She just knows. She just knows. Yeah, Patel's going to be the most difficult because they are, I'm talking about out of everybody, even the ones that have already been confirmed. Out of the ones that have not yet been confirmed and the ones that have been confirmed, I think Kash Patel will be the most difficult. They are terrified of him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, most feared. That's right. He is the most feared. And once he becomes the FBI director, it is on, like Donkey Kong, right? I mean, that's going to be huge. RFK, no, he's in. He'll be in. I'm listening to these Democrats about RFK. Kennedys are on trial for rape and they murder women, and that's okay. They could still be in the Senate and all this stuff. But, he goes to a MAGA rally and all of a sudden he's not qualified, RFK. There's hearings starting, confirmation hearings tomorrow. Now, who has more kids? Sean Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation, or Pete Hegseth? Who do you think has more kids? Pete Hegseth or Duffy? Our Transportation Secretary. Sean has 9. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. 9? No, there's a confirmation. He could do a recess appointment, but that's got problems. The Duffys have a grandchild? Holy smokes, I didn't realize. Yeah, his wife. What's his wife's name? From the Real World San Francisco. She's on Fox and Friends Weekend. I just forgot her name. Son of a gun. What's her name? Sean Duffy's wife. I can't believe I forgot her name. Rachel. Okay, Rachel Campos Duffy. I remember when, I was a big fan of The Real World, okay? And those first they had New York, L.A., and then they did the San Francisco. I wasn't into it after San Francisco. But I was a big fan of that show, and I mean, I've talked about it so many times because it's a big, I almost got on the fourth season. I auditioned for it. It was in Miami. I almost got on it. Didn't get on it, obviously, but almost did. I was a big fan of that show, and that season in San Francisco with Rachel Campos Duffy, they had in that house that Rachel Campos was in. She was in there with Pedro Zamora, who had AIDS. He died of AIDS, and I actually went to Pedro Zamora's funeral in Miami from the Real World San Francisco that Rachel Campos Duffy was in, and some of the cast of the Real World were there. She was not. The ones that were there was the guy Judd. There was an Asian girl who was a doctor, and a third one I couldn't remember was there. But I was hoping Rachel would be there because I assumed she would be there because because of Miami, and she was not there. But I was very excited. I went with. This is so strange. I went to Pedro Zamora's funeral with another radio host, and another guy who was he's the son of Roddy McDowell from Planet of the Apes. Isn't that weird? You know, I used to hang out with this guy. So I was with another radio host, Roddy McDowell's son from Planet of the Apes, at Pedro Zamora's funeral, which was kind of weird when you think about it. And Reverend Fred Phelps showed up, if you're familiar with him, and it was just amazing. But anyway, when I remember Rachel Duffy was on The Real World, she was the first Republican that I saw that I thought was like cool, yeah, hot and cool. Because before Rachel Campos Duffy, all the Republicans, they looked like Ben Shapiro. They were dorks. They wore khaki. They dressed like they worked at Blockbuster, right? They wore button-down shirts, khakis, and penny loafers. No, I don't name drop much, Mark. I don't. Believe me, I do not name drop much. I just think that was weird. That was just a weird, the whole thing. He had this guy. I don't know what the deal was. It was very strange. Very strange guy. No, I don't name people that have watched me all the time, Mark. I do not name drop. It was just weird. Just a weird happening. But yeah, and tape on their glasses, dorks. And I remember when I saw the first episode of the Real World San Francisco, and they showed Rachel Campos Duffy, I thought, wow, she's cool, she's hot, she's Republican. This is Republicans can be cool. You know what I mean? And now look at her. She probably got on that because they assumed because she's a Republican, she hates gays, and they had her in there with Pedro Zamora, and they got along. You know, they tried to stir it up, but you know, no. But hey, you know that's the real world. But Karoline Leavitt did such an incredible job today. I mean, a really incredible job today. Because she's 27 years old, so I'm thinking, well, this is this could be really good, or it could be really bad. But you got to have confidence in Trump. Trump always hires the best. But it went perfect. And I like they had Axios, Breitbart, and then Brian Glenn ask questions. So it's nice to see people ask questions that aren't those same people. They go to the same people, the networks and MSNBC, Fox, and CNN. That's basically it. They rarely go to anyone else. Robert just gifted 5 memberships. That's awesome. Thanks, Robert. And remember, when you have a membership, you get your name in a different color, so it stands out in the chat, and I can see you better and read what you say. And you have access to all the members-only emojis. So check out those emojis, those member-only emojis, okay, guys? Yeah, it could have gone really bad, but it went perfect. Oh, man. Because do any of you remember Sean Spicer's first press conference? Sean Spicer was a disaster in his first press conference. It was a disaster. He's very awkward on television. I saw him on an ad today. He looks like he's on Ozempic, and he's grown a goatee. And he's never good on TV, ever. Really. And that press conference that Spicer did, he was awful. I wouldn't be surprised if he did a terrible job on purpose to try to make Trump look bad, because I didn't realize he was not an outsider like Karoline Leavitt. He was an insider. He was friends with the whole press corps. I didn't realize that. No one was worse on Dancing with the Stars than Tucker Carlson. You guys ever see Tucker on Dancing with the Stars? He didn't even dance. He sat in the chair, and his dancing partner danced around him. Tucker said he looked like he was at a strip club in Vegas. That's about right. Spicer was a fool. Well, he did a terrible job. He did a terrible, terrible job. She did a perfect job. And they were coming in there. They thought they had two things. By the way, when did it turn to legacy media? Everyone says legacy media now all of a sudden. We used to say mainstream fake news media. Now we're all saying legacy media. When did we make this transition and why? I don't know. But it's a recent transition. But they had two things, the fake news legacy media. They thought they had her on. Okay? They were all asking her over and over again about Medicare getting cut, which it's not. And she kept saying, I've answered that question 5 times. So, they're like FBI investigators questioning someone, trying to get them, they're trying to get you like in a perjury trap. They ask you the same question over and over and over and try to, and they obviously are coordinated, and they try to coordinate it. So they wanted her to say that Trump was cutting Medicaid. Because that's for, a lot of very poor people on Medicaid. Didn't happen. And the second thing they had, and she was very prepared for this, they thought they had the price of eggs. I see all the trolls in my chat room, the last few days. A lot were this morning on YouTube. All they talk about are the price of eggs. They asked J.D. Vance on Face the Nation about the price. President Trump has been president for just 1 week, and they act like, well, what about the price of eggs? I thought you were going to bring prices down. It takes time. All of a sudden, liberals are worried about the high cost of goods. All of a sudden. The last 4 years, they were not. They don't care about these things. Everything with the left is a game of gotcha. That's right. Leave President Trump alone. And Brandy, too. Yeah, I don't know how much eggs are. I have no idea. I don't pay attention to that stuff. I don't want to know what eggs cost. I don't know what anything costs. I don't even know how much a gallon of gas is right now. I don't pay attention to prices because it's depressing. I buy what I got to buy, Anyone know eggs? I know we get the cheap eggs. We get the store brand eggs. I don't buy any fancy eggs. I don't quite get that. Or is there any difference between the regular generic brand of eggs and the fancy brands? I don't, Eggs are eggs to me, but they thought they had, the price of eggs. He was going to bring the prices down, and she shot it down and explained the whole thing right away. Yeah, those asking about the price of eggs don't buy them. Exactly. Exactly. They pamper the chickens before they cut their heads off. Okay. Exactly. Oh, my goodness. Cruelty-free farms until they cut their heads off. Negative Nancy's. Whatever. Trump's got everything under control. He has done so much more. I saw another reporter. They go up to Tom Homan and say, there are migrants who are saying they've been abused by ICE agents. And he said, that's total BS. He says, that's bullcrap. That's bullcrap. And he said, well, some of them are saying they have bruises from ICE agents. He says, listen, if they want to file a complaint, we'll investigate it. I love how Tom Homan answers questions better than anyone in the history of the government. Doesn't he? At Trump, the exclusion of Trump. But Tom Homan, I've never seen anyone do such a good job at cutting these reporters off at the knees. He just answers questions perfectly. No BS from Tom Homan. He's very plain-spoken, short answers, and he handles the whole thing so well. The media are jealous. Yeah, he's very blunt. That's how you got to be. You got to be short, sweet, don't give them anywhere to go, and just boom. He's like, they said they were abused? He says that's total BS. And they kept, tell them to file a complaint. Yeah, exactly. File a complaint. Yeah. And they got this other new talking point, that he's not just deporting criminal illegals. They're all criminals. They've entered the country illegally. Each one of them has committed a federal crime. They have entered the United States illegally. That is a federal crime. They are a 100% criminal population. He's strictly business. That's how you got to be. No BS, just business. And his answers, he's very blunt. I love it. He is the best. He's going to go down as one of the most historic people in presidential staff histories. He's going to be remembered for a long time. You know, it's only a matter of time before there's a confrontation, though, right? At a church or something. At some point, there was a shootout with ICE officers and some illegals. I saw, was that today or yesterday? I heard about it today. I don't know if the shooting was today or yesterday. But eventually, what the Democrats are going to try to do is try to do a Waco situation. They're going to have a church or a school or some building that's filled with illegals. And they're going to try to get Tom Homan to surround the place and have a standoff. It's not, he's too smart for them. It's not going to happen. But that's what they're going to try to do at some point. But, you know, these are very dangerous people that they're arresting. I thought Christy Noem looked amazing, embedded with her ICE agents today as the Secretary of Homeland Security. Did she not look great? She should go on more of these raids. I thought that was really, really... She is probably the coolest, definitely the hottest cabinet secretary in the history of cabinet secretaries. Do you think a cabinet secretary has ever looked that cool, out doing something like that? That was really cool. I thought it was awesome, man. Thought it was completely awesome. Now, make sure that if you're new, that you subscribe to my channel. Trump's whole staff are perfect. Homan, Karoline Leavitt, you know, Pete Hegseth, Christy Noem, just perfection. They've all been doing great. Yeah. There hasn't been one screw up. You know, I played on my podcast yesterday. Pete Hegseth had a press conference on the steps of the Pentagon. It was beautiful. It was as perfect as Karoline Leavitt's press conference today. President Trump has hired perfect people this time around. You know, remember, he said the first time it happened so fast, he didn't know anybody in Washington. He didn't know who he could trust, who he couldn't. Well, now he knows. And he's hired great people, all very good people. And, you know, all the complaints we have about Fox, the people he's brought over from Fox are the good guys from Fox that we like. Right? Bondi. Well, I'm talking about the ones that are already on the job. You know, I don't know what's holding Bondi up. That she should have been confirmed last week. And she's very good. She's very good, Pam Bondi. She was our Attorney General here in Florida. Do you think Jean-Pierre was watching that press conference today? Or was she drunk on wine with Kamala? What do you think? Yes or no? Was Jean-Pierre watching that press conference today? I think she was. I think she was. What do you think? Yes. Well, you know, he may have to do some recess appointments, but you don't want to do them unless you have to. But the Republicans said she's going to get confirmed, so, and we control the Senate. Oh, she had to be jealous, you know, especially since she did such a good job. You know, I mean, could it have been better? I don't think it could have been better. Could not have been better. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to take off. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. If you're already subscribed, like the video. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. This press conference is proof positive that President Trump only hires the best, isn't it?